When it comes to the boys of summer, when it comes to SEN, we wheel out the big guns time after time, Michael, and we're lucky enough to be joined by one of them right now. The NRL CEO is with us.
Yes, good morning, Andrew. Andrew, first time, mate, how did you spend your summer? What is a summer off-season? You know, there's not really an off-season in rugby league, but what does a summer without games look like in the Abdo household?
Oh, plenty of Def Leppard.
There you go. See you jamming out to it.
Hi Michael, hi Matt. Great to be talking to you. I mean, the summer was great. It was great to have a break. I got some time up on the Central Coast with my family, which was terrific. And summer in New South Wales is spectacular. It's not the best in the world. But the off-season is too short. I want the footy to start. And the countdown has started, and it's not long to go. So this is such an exciting time of the year. And we're already talking about, you know, obviously the pre-season starting, but the season opening in Vegas. So I can't wait.
Yeah, the pre-season starts tomorrow night. Cronulla against the Warriors. Saturday night, we're looking forward to the Premiers. Penrith against Canberra. But as you mentioned, Andrew, we're looking to Vegas. Why will this year be bigger and better than an outstanding first year last year?
It was a big adventure last year. We took the game to a new frontier, and it was many firsts. And what was terrific is it was such a community event. Like, it was sort of an international magic round. We had overwhelmed by how many Australians travelled, and we really did take over the Las Vegas Strip. And I remember seeing the signage for the game outside the stadium at the start of the week on the big LED screen at the one end of the strip, and at the other end of the strip outside of Resorts World Hotel on the big LED screen was our advert for the games. And it was sort of great to chat to fans, and we had fans from all the clubs, not just the clubs competing, walking through the streets of Vegas, and then we had our terrific fan day. This year, we've taken it a step up. We've learned, from and listened to what the fans liked and enjoyed, and there'll be even more action throughout the week. We've got a fan hub, dedicated fan hub, so the fans can get to see the players and meet the players and spend time with the teams. And obviously, we've got 4 fixtures, and we've got a women's international. And I'm personally really excited to showcase our female athletes to the US audience and to a global audience. We've got a Super League game being played for points at the same time as an NRL game, first time ever. And the Raiders Warriors game will be on network television in America. Now, for us, that is just massive. That is going to give us a huge reach. And so it's showcasing the best rugby league athletes on the planet to a massive audience. So it's bigger and bolder and better, and we've had a terrific response from our fans. We've sold almost 40,000 tickets already.
Andrew, it's going to be a rugby league marathon, and we are so looking forward to it. The fans who will be there, no doubt, are excited, and all the fans who will fill clubs in New South Wales and be part of the atmosphere are looking forward to it as well. Regarding next year and future years, how is the level of interest from clubs in Australia to now get on board and be a part of it? And when will you announce the 4 clubs who are going to go over there next year, assuming it's only going to be 4?
So, I mean, obviously all the focus now is on making sure that this week and this event is as successful as possible. But it is a long-term venture, as you say, and we have committed to Vegas for the next 5 years. And there is strong interest from the clubs to participate. So we'll run that process, literally as the games finish and conclude. We'll debrief. We'll look at what the design and the growth of next year looks like, and then we'll engage with the clubs and run a relatively quick process, because we know we want to give fans as much time as possible to plan for their trip. So that work will start literally concurrently with the event this year, and we should be ready to roll straight afterwards in terms of what 2026 looks like. But for now, our attention is on making sure that we deliver a successful start to 2025.
Andrew, you mentioned almost 40,000 tickets sold. What is the expectation for the crowd on the day? And I guess, do you have a breakdown of where those tickets have come from? Are they a lot of Australian fans? Has there been US buying? What about the UK market?
Yeah, really interesting, Michael. Like, the mix is really good for us. So we've got around 20,000 Australians travelling and descending on Vegas. We've got about 8,000 coming from England, and we've got a couple of thousand coming from New Zealand, and then the rest are the rest of the world, 31 countries, postcodes from 31 countries for fans attending, and obviously that leaves around 10,000 Americans. But here's what's really interesting. The US fans we've had fans buy tickets from 50 different states. So they're not just coming from Las Vegas and Nevada, they're coming from all over America. By 20% coming from California, Utah, and all the way across from the East Coast. So it really is, it's got like a Magic Line feel to it. Lots of travelers, lots of people, coming down not just for the game day, but actually for the events during the week. The Nines tournament that we're running has been oversubscribed, over 30 teams, 500 players. And that's pretty cool for us. It's a 2-day Nines tournament, and those are community teams. We'll be running a combine, and then we'll be running a sports conference as well. So plenty of activities for fans. And the flights are still pretty reasonable. You can get economy return for around $3,000-4,000. So it's a pretty good return on investment for fans that are keen to see Vegas and experience Allegiant Stadium.
It's a rugby league marathon, Sunday, March 2, our time, starting bright and early. Is it logistically and financially possible that in future years, Andrew, we might divide it and play 2 games, say Friday night local time in Vegas, and then 2 on Saturday and spread it out a bit, or is that beyond reach?
No, nothing's beyond reach. Like, this is, as I said, like, we're taking the game to new markets and we're looking to grow and expand. So we'll look at all options and make sure that they are viable, as you say. The logistics on moving teams there is offset by the investment that we get. And the investment is, new fans that we acquire, new sponsors, and new revenue streams. And it's also a great opportunity for the clubs to promote themselves to a new audience and gain new fans, and obviously for the players too. So it's a great showcase. So nothing is I wouldn't rule anything out, and we're hard at work thinking about how we can keep investing in and growing this event. And it's about the whole season. We want fans in America engaged with the Premiership, following it, watching it, and streaming it, and playing fantasy football, and so on and so forth. So it is a year-long conversation around growing the game in America.
What surprises do you have in store for us, Andrew? Anything that you can reveal here for us?
One question that I got asked, which was, which I had to think about, it's a question for the Raiders. Who's going to sound the horn at the start of the Viking Club? And I'm looking forward to as well the connection between the Las Vegas Raiders and obviously our Canberra Raiders. I think the surprise is going to be the football itself. England and Australia, in terms of a women's test match, we've not seen that for many years. They haven't played for a number of years now, so that's going to be really interesting. And this season, how can you pick? You can't pick a top 8. The Premiership is wide open. So I think I'm looking forward to actually seeing the football, because we had 2 really dynamic games to start the season last year, and I think we're going to get the same this year.
Andrew, is Trumpy going? Will you be sitting beside the US president?
Well, he's certainly been invited, and if anyone was going to be able to pull off getting Donald Trump to the stadium, it's our chairman Peter V'landys, and I know that he's reached out. So we'll make sure that he knows that he's welcome, and if the stars align and we get him there, it'll be terrific. But there'll be plenty of other dignitaries and celebrities there attending, because it is a week. It's not just about rugby league matches. It's actually a whole week of festivities.
I'll make sure you line me up an interview if he gets there, mate. Thank you. Appreciate that. And you mentioned expansion. Obviously, that's a hot topic. We saw PNG announced at the back end of last year. Has there been any movement in terms of the work that's going on with that consortium, and obviously how that may take shape in the next couple of years?
Yeah, really exciting for us, right? So that's our move and our expansion east into the Pacific, and what an exciting time for the game that we're in. We have the ability now to really invest from the grassroots up, kids playing and learning the game in schools and in clubs, all across the Pacific in a number of different countries, not just PNG, and then obviously the formation of a team out of PNG to play in the competition. That's huge for us. Like it's the passion for the game in Papua New Guinea. You have to be there to actually experience it. So it's incredibly exciting. A lot of hard work ahead, infrastructure investment, making sure that the Centre of Excellence and academies are there to ensure that we're getting homegrown talent developed. And we've got a number of quite innovative ideas around how we deliver that. So that all now takes place. We're in the execution implementation phase. A lot of hard work to go, and but it's exciting, and it's going to change the game forever for the better. We're opening up the game now to become the sport of the Pacific, and that's incredibly exciting for us.
We're speaking with Andrew Abdo, NRL CEO. And Andrew, you could probably guess the question that Nathan from North Sydney wants answered. Simply, when are you going to announce that the Bears are back, baby? I live in the northern suburbs, so I get this question. I would say on average 3 or 4 times a day. It's phenomenal, isn't it? The Bears is a terrific brand. North Sydney Bears obviously is a brand that means a lot to a lot of people, and the opportunity to somehow find a way to include that in the competition is definitely at the forefront of the Commission's minds and in our thinking. And whether it's in partnership with WA or whether it's part of other expansion opportunities, we definitely have not forgotten about the Bears, and we're looking at ways in which they can be included in the NRL rugby league community, beyond the club as it stands today, which is like obviously a very important club in the New South Wales State Cup competition and a massive feeder club for developing talent here in New South Wales and Sydney.
So specifically, I guess, Andrew, that question leads itself to Western Australia. They've got an election coming up next month, so I'm sure probably some talks have been put on the back burner. But how confident are you that we may have some sort of resolution regarding Western Australia becoming the NRL's next side as we move towards potentially an 18-team competition?
No, I'm pretty optimistic. I think Western Australia presents a good opportunity for the game. When we had the Western Reds, we had participation numbers of 20,000 players over there. So, and when we've played matches over there, the response that we get from the community is overwhelming. So, we'll have a State of Origin game there, of course, this year. We'll sell that out. We've done so in previous years. We've played club double headers there. We've played test matches there. And it is Western Australia presents a great opportunity for the game, not only in terms of fans, but also in terms of player development. So the signs are good. The business case has to stack up. So we need to strike an agreement with the government around infrastructure, around investment in grassroots. But the Commission is absolutely having a close look at this, making sure that we do get a business case that's viable, and then we can take that to our stakeholders and our members. And then obviously in how that feeds into the next broadcast rights deal is critical as well. So all is possible, but nothing is finalised. And I'm optimistic around the opportunity to continue to grow the game. But it's got to be feasible and viable, and obviously our stakeholders play a critical role in that.
Yesterday, Andrew, there was a media release regarding the interpretations of some existing rules. No new rules, but maybe more focus and attention on interpreting some of the rules and laws a little tighter. Now, for listeners who weren't with us yesterday, we detailed the attention being given to playing the ball properly, to the 10-metre rule, to obstruction, and just adjusting that slightly. And, of course, also perhaps retrospectively sin-binning players who had resulted in an opposition player leaving the ground Category 1 or failed Category 2 HIA. What's been the reaction in the 24 hours since you released those interpretation adjustments, shall we say?
Positive, right? So these changes that come from feedback that we received at the end of the season when we do the end of season review. So I think first and foremost, the game is in good shape, and credit to the clubs and players. We had a phenomenal competition last year. The game is fast and it's continuous. The ball in play is high, and that's important for us. So there's no need for any rule changes. But the feedback we got was around really cleaning up some aspects of the game that were starting to get a little bit inconsistent or sloppy. So as you've covered, reminding the players and the clubs on the importance of a play the ball is important. 10-metre compliance is an interesting one. It's not just about the defending team getting back 10 metres to create space for the attacking team, but making sure they don't jump the line early. And then obstruction was a big one for us. So this is an area that causes a lot of angst, and so we wanted to provide a bit more clarity and a bit more balance. And the feedback came from, engagement with players and with coaches. And so we've carefully worked with Wayne Pearce and obviously Peter and the Commission in creating some clarity around this, whereby I think the first important measure of an obstruction is that it needs to actually be an obstruction. So it's going to be less about, technical markers, but more around could the player have actually made a defensive play. and just getting that balance right to make sure you're not penalising poor defensive decisions. And I think that this will help a great deal. It's always going to be somewhat subjective obstruction, but this is the thing. We don't want blockers, but equally we also want to reward attacking play where a good offensive strategy or tactic is actually rewarded and not penalised by players milking it. So we hope that these guidelines actually provide a bit more clarity. But they're not rule changes, they're just tidying up areas of the game where we know there was a lot of frustration.
Matty White had Aaron Warburton on during the week, the Bulldogs boss, and intimated a plan, I guess, to put the players' names on the back of jerseys. Do you ever see it's been met with some skepticism from other clubs? They've said no because of the sponsorship arrangements and the like. What's your take, I guess, on that potential down the track, Andrew?
Well, I think it's innovative, so and I think it will resonate well with fans. We see at the State of Origin where it occurs. We also see it with other sports. It's easier, it's good for fans to be able to recognise who the player is. It's also good from a merchandise and retail perspective for young fans who want to buy a jersey with their favourite player's name on. So there's a lot to like about it, and clearly it would be a policy change, and that would be something we would need to take to the Commission. But I like the idea. I think it's a positive one. We just need to find a way to make it work, and I look forward to working with the clubs around what that might look like for future games.
Names on jerseys, rugby league calendars. We're bringing it all back here on SEN. Andrew Abdo, I know it's a busy time, but an exciting time as you launch into another year. Yes, the pre-season challenge is almost upon us, but Vegas is looming large as well. Thank you for your time this morning, and good luck in 2025.
It's good to chat to you. It means we're getting close to footy. Enjoy the season, and to all the fans, enjoy the season, and I hope it's a good one.
You know, Michael, doctors say a proper breakfast includes eggs, bacon, and breakfast with Fossey and Brandy. So get your daily fix through our socials and listen live on SEN Radio.